Hey, this is Teo, back with some more House of Fata Morgana. Um, where we left off last time, I think I just finished the first door. Uh, Ended very poorly. I hope that, I don't have to wait until the fifth door for one of the stories to end happily, but I guess we'll see how that goes. As far as bookkeeping stuff goes, two things. First of all, I think I'm pretty happy with this current 1 to 2 hour lengths of videos, so you should expect more of that going forward. And also, on the excellent suggestion of Harlequin, I am going to be reading all the text now instead of trying to guess how long it takes people to read stuff. So without further ado, this is where we left off last time. Like I said, we just finished the first door, and back to it. The crestfallen young man faded into the distance, and the decrepit double doors clacked shut. Through the shattered glass, you could see only the remains of a garden, only the ruins of a garden, not a single rose growing within. You had evidently returned from the past. In the garden, weeds grew taller than people. You found it difficult to look at. A wolf howled in the distance. That's grim. Children, the sea of roses, and the white-haired girl were nowhere to be found. You and the maid who called you master were the only people present in the mansion. What happened to them next? Oh, master, you would know better than I. Hehe. So yeah, 95% sure we're Mel, or that the game is intentionally leading us to believe that we're Mel. My, you cannot remember? It seems this is quite serious then. Worry not, my loyalty lies with you, master. It's interesting, though, if there's a sort of important plot-related reason why we have amnesia, rather than just plot convenience, you don't remember what happened, so let's look at what happened, rather than just going through it chronologically, which I guess would be the other option. It would be interesting if the amnesia is sort of going to lead to an interesting plot twist down the road. So, I guess I'll be looking out for that. The mansion has witnessed more yet. Let us make our way to the second door. Oh yeah, back to bookkeeping for a second. If all the other doors are similar in length to the first door, which I have no idea, they could be substantially longer. I would be surprised if they were shorter, but given that people say the whole novel took them about 15 hours to finish, it wouldn't surprise me if they were about 3-ish hours in length. You should expect for each video to cover about half the door. Anyhow, your hand in hers, the maid guided you back through the kitchen and into the tea room. Her palms were still cold, you felt as though you were clenching ice. Master, do you wish to know the truth no matter what may be hidden within? Absolutely. Or, if it is something you would be happier not knowing, would you rather remain in the dark? Oh, is that so? Hehehe. I wonder about their father. Yes, the flaxen-haired sibling's father. Do you think he knew about the white-haired girl? If he did, then perhaps he allowed her to stay because of how deeply he loved his wife. Or maybe because he did not want people to find out about her. I expect he too experienced many different emotions, but those pages of his story remain untold. Their parents likely had a turbulent tale as well, but theirs is not of consequence. To whom? I could not tell you. I mean, I assume that's talking about me, like real-life me, not the character I'm playing as. So, leaning on the fourth wall, but not quite breaking it. You and the maid crossed through the entrance hall, continuing your trek. At some point, the fire in the fireplace had faded to embers, emphasizing the lack of light within the mansion. The maid took the candlestick and lit it in the cinders. The small flame illuminated her pale face. On a whim, you asked the maid about herself. About me? I am a maid devoted to your service, master, as I have said. Oh, what was that? You're interested in my name? Absolutely. Very much so. Heh, you flatter me. I truly do appreciate the question, but you are more than welcome to simply call me the maid. And baited. Also, it would make me much happier to hear you say my name after you've recalled who you are, master. A subtle smile rose to the maid's face, after which she began to lead you down the first floor corridor. Still holding the maid's hand, you passed in front of a full-length mirror. In it reflected the warm light of the candle, which disappeared out of range shortly thereafter. Oh my, is something the matter? Did you come across something peculiar? I wonder if we're gonna, get to see the protagonist's face for the first time. Hehe. The maid had not appeared in the mirror. Oh, that's interesting. Though she was not the only one without reflection. God damn it! Every time I'm like, oh hey, maybe we'll get more information about these mysteries they've been giving us, and it's like, no, no information, fuck you. Get out of my house. Get out of my visual novel. Either that or the mirror is buggy. You reached the end of the corridor. There appeared to be a doorway, but the door itself was long since gone, leaving only a hole in the wall to frame the stairs behind it. Without hesitation, the maid descended into the darkness. You have more interest in this mansion, master, than in a mere maid, do you not? Though it pains me to say as much in your presence, master, this house is cursed. Yes, it is a curse that runs deep. As you just bore witness to, the majority of those who dwell within these walls fall into misfortune. I have served here for many years, and periods of happiness are as fleeting as a sugar cube in a cup of hot tea. Why did such tragedies befall them? If I were to guess, master, it was because you had not returned. Weird. So maybe we're not Mel. But when you remember your true self, the mansion's curse should be broken. Oh! We're like Mel's granddad. The guy who, like, restored the mansion originally. Huh. Okay, that's my new theory. I'm off the Mel theory. The next door is before us. It appeared to be the entrance to a cellar. The disconsolate wooden door was visibly rotten in several places, and it seemed it might crumble at its slight touch. You could hear the sound of something devouring meat beyond the door. That's okay. Maybe there was a beast living within. Before you had a chance to say you thought it was dangerous, the maid opened the door with a chilling smile on her face. Your first impression was that it smelled of blood. And away we go. 1707, so we're like 100 years forward. I don't think they've told us exactly when we are right now, but I assume it's like early 2000s, just because it's early 2000s in real life. The mansion sat in ruins in that era, not a soul resided within. The grandeur of the house was lost to the ages, it was in perpetual decline. Not a flower grew in the garden, dust and dirt blackened the plaster, cobwebs blanketed the corridors, ivy shrouded the outer walls. It was not a pleasant sight. As hard as I tried to fight it, I could not stop the mansion's descent into disrepair. The depth of the previous owner's grief, or perhaps despair, was far too much. After the beautiful, flaxen-haired family, people stayed away from the mansion. They had no heirs, so their bloodline simply vanished into the depths of history. It had been about 50 years since the house last had a resident. The forlorn property appeared as though it had been abandoned for centuries, and the occasional villager who stumbled upon it did not remain there for more than a day. My time there was rather solitary. It was perhaps the loneliest time of my life. Everyone who visited the mansion feared it, and it was left without anyone to become its master. I even came to believe that my time serving as a maid would come to an end in this era. However, one day, I noticed something out of the ordinary. As a servant of the house, I'm almost immediately aware of any new presence within its walls, so no, that's not normal. And there appeared to be someone downstairs. Can you imagine just how delighted I was? It's psychedelic. Though part of me was anxious about what kind of person I might find, the possibility that it could be you had my heart aflutter. So, resisting the urge to rush, I headed for the basement. The cellar was where red wine, smoked meat, and other preserved foods were kept. By that point, the wine was practically antique. As I had expected, a man had made his way into the cellar. I mean, it's where they keep the meat. Man knows what's up. Is anyone there? Although, I am unsure if referring to him as a man is entirely accurate. Is it a dog? I love dogs. Oh my, this is quite something. It looks very angry. The very first thing I sensed was an almost unbearable stench. The odor emanating from the man, heightened by the food he had carelessly rummaged through. Blood-red liquid spilled from wine barrels, soaking the floor. His sunken eyes had a piercing, wolf-like glimmer in them. His teeth were sharp and yellowed, visible as he ripped into a chunk of meat. He grumbled in a seemingly inhuman tongue. I was looking at a beast. Or perhaps a half-beast. There was another source of odor in the room, though. It had something of a kind of metallic tinge to it, and when I noticed this, I nearly passed out. The red liquid was not just wine, as I had assumed. The beast had, I presume, stolen a weapon from the village. A sword far too nice for him lay on the floor by his side. I could hardly imagine how many people's lives he had taken with that blade. It was visibly wet with blood, even in the darkness of the cellar, but at the same time, it had an imposing gleam. The fine, luscious aroma of the wine could not mask the stench of blood in the beast. Holding my breath, I took a few moments to ponder. Ponder what? Oh, master, you know. Ponder what we're gonna do about this crazy guy in our cellar eating our food and stabbing people. Yes, that seems like a pretty pertinent thing to consider. Tell me, were you summoned here by the mansion? Did you come here knowing what kind of place it is? If you are in want of money, you're welcome to help yourself to some of the furniture. And I imagine the villagers would be willing to welcome you if you dressed yourself up a little bit more like a person. Then you can trade the furniture for food and make your way to a larger town. The wolf was able to fool the innocent girl simply by putting on clothing, after all. Oh dear, I was afraid you wouldn't understand me. What am I to do? I was in quite the predicament. Nevertheless, it meant a great deal to me that I had found someone who did not fear the mansion, be they human or beast. It's interesting that we're getting into slightly harder fantasy now. Because, like, whatever this thing on the screen is, like, either it's, like, shrouded by darkness or whatever, that's, like, not fully human. And the narrative seems to imply sort of something similar. So I decided I should give him my assistance, while doing my best not to agitate him. Say, could you perchance be my new master? Oh, we fate now? The mansion sat near the ocean. To say it was perched upon a cliff might make it sound rather intimidating, but you could see the beautifully clear sea through the windows, a glittering expanse of emerald and turquoise. If the mansion had been in proper condition, it would have been breathtaking against that backdrop. I even wanted to plant orange trees in the garden. Though it was a tumultuous era, the sun still shone bright upon the land, which only served to emphasize the house's unsightliness. Oh yes, perhaps I should give you some more background information. Yes, background information! It is just what the doctor ordered. At that period in time, a war had just drawn to a close. So, early 1700s, I still don't know where they are. I assume it's in, like, England or something, based on the aesthetic. But I don't know enough about English history to speak to any wars in the early 1700s. British history? I think British history is, like, a more correct term than English history, but I digress. History is not my strong point, you could say. The once gorgeous wetlands were infested with crows picking at decaying remains. Bodies of soldiers fallen in battle continually washed up on the shores of coastal villages. The people wanted nothing more than for the curtain to draw on that deeply political contest. Oh, it was like War of the Roses, maybe? That sounds familiar, but I have no idea when that is. Also, this background music is super loud. Like, I'm actually just gonna take my system volume down, like, 50% or something. Because I can't even hear myself think, let alone talk. And when it finally did, the kingdom, with its richly fertile shores, was stripped of its independence, beginning a new era under new rule. So perhaps this is like the continuation of a trend of like me really disliking the first song played in any door, and then liking everything else after that. The people were exhausted, their spirits wasted away. And the splendor of the ocean and sky did nothing to help. In my mind, the beast was emblematic of the times, emaciated and enveloped in the scent of blood. But the war came to an end. Thus the beast did not have to remain a beast as I thought. Did he? That's weird. If it actually stops being a beast, I'm going to be super confused. And so I endeavored to make the beast more human-like. First, I needed to do something about his appearance. I would draw a bath, scrub away all the filth, and dress him in clothing left in the mansion. However, having sat unused for 50 years, the majority of garments had been devoured by insects and were of little use. So I searched the mansion top to bottom for anything the beast could wear, heated up some coals, and set to work ironing what I found. At the time, steam irons had not yet been invented. We used plates of iron heated with coals. They somewhat resembled kettles. Huh, that's weird. I even prepared meals for the beast, in order to teach him proper table manners. Although, with the mansion in a nearly uninhabitable state of disarray, there was only so much I could do in the kitchen. And the only supplies I had to work with were what was left in the cellar. As such, I was not able to put to use the cooking skills I had learned in the flaxen-haired family's time. Now, you mustn't eat with your hands. Do you want to get your fingers and face dirty? You eat using a knife and fork. See, like this. I feel like I'm teaching a young child. Beast obviously doesn't take kindly to being referred to as a young child. Oh my, what are you holding your head for? Oh dear. Perhaps I should be teaching you to speak before table manners. Worry not, we have plenty of time. Man, this maid is like either like incredibly patient or incredibly like desperate for company. Because I'm pretty sure I would not be as willing to put up with like this like wreathing mass of darkness and claws and teeth for as long as she evidently is. You didn't act so frightened. Or perhaps you do not want to be understood at all. Would you be so kind as to tell me your name? You are, for now, still a guest. It is too soon for me to call you master. Or am I mistaken? Your name, that is what people call you. How about I start by telling you my name? I am called B.E. Something something B, something something E, something something. Bestia, apparently. That's what we're going with. Also, we totally just got cock-blocked on learning the maid's name again. Like, either that's, like, plot relevant, or the game is trolling me. Bestia. Your name is Bestia. Eh, I see. And that is what I shall call you, Bestia. My, you seem to be rather perplexed as to how I was still alive. He had, in fact, attempted to cause me harm. However, I'm a servant of the house. The beast called himself Bestia. It is a curious thing. When I learned his name, he seemed to take on new importance in my mind. He was not a mere beast, but a thing called Bestia. Master, should I ever have a chance to hear your name, I am certain you too shall become a more substantial a presence. But you must always remember, Master, that even if you do not remember your name, and even if you never know mine, you have always held a special place in my heart. Ah, that's sweet. And thus began my tranquil days with Bestia. Tranquil. That is not how I would imagine that going down. Slowly, he began to learn the human tongue. And I was, to be quite honest, rather thrilled. Also, the game kind of, like, glossed over it, but the maid definitely just, like, soft confirmed that she's not only immortal versus, like, age, but she's also immortal versus getting stabbed. I'm, like, more and more concerned about this maid as we, like, learn more about her. Like, not for her well-being, but for, like, what the hell's going on. To be certain, I was afraid of the beast, but my fear was not so strong as my elation that there was someone else in the mansion, someone to whom I could speak, and someone that might become my master. Come now, you must pull weeds out at the roots or they will soon grow back. This is a task that requires perseverance. You do it like this, see? There you go. Grass. Oh, did you not expect that? Heh. What appears to be many plants on the surface is actually all connected within the soil. This is a task that requires a man's strength. If there were other servants, they could do it, so I apologize for making you tend to the garden, future master. I see that Bestia has now been elevated to the level of future master. Very optimistic, this maid fellow. Or perhaps, now that you are all dressed up, do you wish to leave the mansion and find someone to fool, as the wolf did the sweet little girl? Have you no interest in remaining in such a disheveled house? Go on. Not want leave. Oh my, is that so? Hehe. If you wish to stay, then I shall not stop you. On the contrary, I will gladly attend to you. I am waiting for the person who is to become my master. Forever waiting. I should be able to watch over you until the day you depart this world, old and wrinkled. Do you not believe me? Are you interested in becoming the master of this house? Will be. I have to wonder if you know what you are saying, although it matters little whether you do or not. I mean, it matters a little bit. Oh my, look at that. Now this brings back memories. This is called a rose. Do you know what a rose is? It is a type of flower. Not know. Do not know. I see. Then allow me to teach you. What you have here is not a real rose. The real rose is wilted and are sleeping in the soil. This is called an accessory. It is something women wear. Oh, that's sad. It's like the thing that Mel got custom made for the white-haired chick. The beast held an ornamental white rose in his hands, an object someone, sometime, meant to give to someone else. Curiously, the white rose was just as stunning as it had been the day it was made, despite being buried in the earth for so many years. I hear roses make wonderful gifts. He stared intently at the decorative rose. I had presumed the beast would either discard it disinterestedly or destroy it, but to my surprise, Bestia held it gently in his hands, as though it were something precious to him. Interesting, so maybe Bestia is a reincarnation of either Mel or the white-haired girl, even if the, like, protagonist isn't. Are you, perchance, considering giving it to me? Oh, I ship it. So you are not. Very well. Oh, ship is, crashed in the harbor. Is there someone else you would like to give it to? In that moment, a thought floated through my mind. The thing I had found in a pool of blood in the cellar was a monstrous creature indeed, but perhaps that was not, at his core, what he truly was. So I asked him a question. What is it that you desire, Bestia? This mansion fulfills people's desires. I thought it was cursed. I think I read a book about this once. Something fulfilling people's desires, but is cursed, and so people desire things and ends really poorly. Sounds vaguely familiar. If you yearn for something, want. Live peace. Seems like a fairly reasonable desire. Look at that filthy thing. A beast. It's a beast. It's eating goddamn sand. You really that hungry? Beast, you foul creature. Stay the hell back. Get any closer. Filthy beast. And I'll kill you. Bestia's had a hard life. Several days passed by. As Bestia began to act more like a person, the mansion followed suit, slowly becoming more habitable, though not yet back to its former glory. See, that's weird. That's kinda cool, but also super weird. No flowers grew in the garden, but neither were there weeds infesting it. The dusty corridors, shattered windows, rust-covered kitchen gradually returned to their proper states. Bestia learned how to change his own clothes, and how to draw a bath. No longer did I have to wait on him hand and foot. He could take care of a number of things all by himself. What we lacked for food, he acquired from the forest. So resourceful. Never did he go to purchase supplies from the village. Rather, he captured hares and gathered herbs hidden in the overgrowth. They were days without incident. And though such a life may want for excitement, peace is something that you mustn't take in for granted. Those who have cast it aside, finding the leisurely flow of time dull, only those who have never experienced it truly know how precious it is. Bestia appeared to be content. He wore an expression of solitary serenity. Is anyone there? Then one day, a crack formed in the uneventful tranquility. Is anyone in there? Could you part with some food? I don't need much. Some food and water. Just a little, that's all I need. Bestia looked over at me, as if seeking my aid. Ironic, no? It was the visitor who was truly in need of aid. I pondered for a few moments, deciding that I could not simply turn away someone calling upon the mansion. Had Bestia ordered me not to let him in, I would have followed his instructions, but he said nothing. Oh, thank God, someone's here. I was afraid it was deserted. You said you were in need of sustenance? Yes. It doesn't have to be much. Anything to quench this thirst. I got lost, and it's been several days. Give me a few minutes, and I will find. Let him in. A firm, deep voice came from behind me. Hey, Bestia learned how to talk. Good job, Bestia. I'm so proud of you. I was quite startled. When had the beast learned to act so much like a human? When had he learned to speak so clearly, and to behave so much like a master? Ah. Upon seeing Bestia, a look of terror appeared to cross the wanderer's face for a moment. To my eyes, Bestia was the very image of a head of house, but to an outsider, he probably appeared to be nothing more than a beast in man's clothing. Prepare him a meal and a bed. I suspect he is quite tired. Thank you very much. But in time, the fear drained from the man's face. Okay, I ship this now. Merchant X Bestia. But in time, the fear drained from the man's face. Bestia sat precariously on the border between man and beast. Though he still had his doubts, the wanderer revised his first impression, deciding Bestia was human. As the wolf had fooled the little girl in the forest, he too had succeeded in playing the role of a man. I really hope Bestia doesn't eat the merchant. That seems like entirely plausible. And it would be deeply unfortunate. I thought I was a goner for a while there, but you really came to the rescue. And a meal like this on top of that? You really didn't have to. Though I guess it's not an appropriate thing to say as I'm eating. What kind of meat is this? Hare. It's damn tender for a rabbit. And here I thought it was beef. You've quite the skilled chef. Oh, is she the one who cooked this? Is she your wife? Oh no, I am merely a servant. A female servant, huh? Don't see that very often. This mansion's just full of surprises, I can hardly believe it. Lost for days, and as soon as I think I'm dead, there it is. Thinking back on it now, it's miraculous. Possibly literally. But why are you two living alone in a house on a cliff? Oh, I beg your pardon. Asking so many questions without telling you about myself. My apologies. Just a little too excited to finally see other people. I'm a merchant. I do international trade. Until a few years ago, spice exports pretty much all came from one place. But now that we've established trade routes of our own, my country's fighting tooth and nail to push its exports. And in fact, some have lost a few tooth in the fight already. But that's just how it works. It's a cutthroat world. You do what you have to survive. That's just how it works, the merchant said, a sorrowful look on his face. He was quite clearly putting on a show, though. Confidence in himself and his homeland radiated from the man. I came to this land to do business. But, much to my chagrin, I somehow ended up lost in the forest. Had I wandered around for much longer, I'd have lost the chance to ever see my beloved again. Your beloved? Yes, sir. Constantly out on business, so we only get to see each other a few times a year. But she always waits for my return. I'd like to introduce you to her if I ever get the chance. She's a pretty girl, if not especially striking. Is that so? The merchant was a man of many words, and I, for one, do not mind a lively supper table. Though I do not know how Bestia felt, at the very least, I was glad we had invited the Wanderer into the mansion. He was, after all, holding a proper conversation with someone, and he seemed to be having success concealing his piercing, beast-like glare. However... Oh, right, I stopped by the village before entering the forest, and I heard a bone-chilling tale there. As soon as the merchant brought up the subject, a palpable tension spread through the room. They say there have been sightings of a beast. Uh-oh. It's a creature unlike anything anyone's seen before. Not a wolf or a bear or anything like that. It's okay, Bestia. It doesn't have to be awkward. It's only awkward if you let it be awkward. It even attacked the village once, killing several people. Oh, Bestia, don't kill people. Thankfully, the men managed to drive it out, but the creature is still alive. There's nothing in that world scarier than a vicious beast. So you should keep an eye out. Wouldn't want to accidentally let a murderous beast into your home. Yeah, you should try telling the maid that. She might have, different views on the subject. At the villager's insistence, I had a smithy forge me a knife. Is that knife, with you now? Well, yeah, I got it on me. Only good to defend myself with, but it's better than... That knife. You brought that knife. You're here to kill me with that knife. What? You're going to stab me, again and again, with that knife, like they did last time. That's why you're here, isn't it? What are you talking about? What's gotten into you? Stab and stab and stab. Calm down. What are you so worried about? I'm not going to hurt you with this. Oh. And Bestia had a bad time. What did you just say? Hurgly-murgle. Eek. I like to imagine that before the wolf ate the poor little girl, he said, "Is this what I always look like?" That beast. What's your problem? What's wrong? Talk like a human. Is me. Stop! Stay back! Get any closer and I'll stab you to death. You act like you only just realized I'm a beast. Eek. That's right, I'm a beast. I killed them. Stay back. And I'll do the same to you. Bestia, that's really not how we're supposed to greet guests. I was so proud of you for your progress in acting like a human, and now you're regressing like this, and it's really sad. I guess this ship has sunk too. Unfortunate. Ah! Help! In his hand, Bestia held his sword. Perhaps it had been hidden under the table, or maybe behind his chair. Regardless, it was as though he expected this to happen. The merchant kicked aside a chair, attempting to flee, but Bestia closed the distance in an instant, knocking him back. He lost his balance and slammed against the wall, but still he made to escape, though the beast stood blocking his path. No! Please, stop this! Don't kill me. My beloved is waiting for me back home. I can't leave her behind. And why should I care? Oh. Then the merchant died. Gah! A dreadful scream echoed through the dining room. I reflexively covered my ears. Please help! Ah! Someone! Anyone! No one's going to come for you. This mansion's a long way from town. Ah! Help! That woman! Why isn't she here? She was just... Ah! You'll kill me if I don't kill you, and so I must show you that I will. I must show you that I'm serious. I must kill you, or you won't understand. You just won't understand. If I don't show you firsthand, you won't understand. Oh, come on now. I'll make you understand. I'll make your flesh and bones understand. Kill. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Kill you. Monster. That's right. I am a beast. And then there was blood everywhere. They had been enjoying a peaceful meal around the table together just minutes earlier. So what had triggered this? If I were to guess, the merchant saying the word knife is what caused the beast to snap. A simple, small thing set him off. I could not comprehend it. Bestia, who said he wished for peace, was staring down at the ravaged corpse of the merchant, with a look of ecstasy on his face. Master, can you understand how he felt? Even just a little? Did he not yearn for peace, but for slaughter? That's, Huh. It's very, different in tone to the first door. I will say that much. Alright, that does it for today's shopping. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Snack time! There's nothing better than having a ham sandwich in the park. Oh dear, maybe I should lower my voice when I'm talking to myself. Man, story of my life. But it's so nice out, I just can't help myself. Does the weather have anything to do with talking to oneself? Not important. Food, food. If he were here, it would taste even better. Yeah, but he got mauled to death by a monster. Unfortunate. I wonder when I'll get to see him next. Pauline, Pauline, there you are. Oh dear, what's got you so frazzled, Mom? Ah, oh, Pauline. What is it? Did something happen? What's the matter, Mom? Mom. Pauline. This isn't like you, Mom. It's not like you at all. Tell me what happened. I told you to stay away from men who trade. Huh? Oh, Pauline, my dear daughter. Why must God be so cruel to such a sweet girl? You're hurting me, Mom. Don't squeeze so tight. What's gotten into you? Listen carefully, Pauline. You must be calm and hear me out, understood? Your lover, the beloved man you wait for, is dead. That was quick. Normally it takes longer in the story for, like, people to get brutally murdered. But I guess that's what we're leading with. The beast's humanity began slipping away from him after that encounter. He'd returned to the thing I'd found in the cellar. Actually, he prowled the mansion's halls looking more barbaric than ever. Despite all the effort he had put into learning to act like a human, he now ripped the velvet curtains off the wall, howling shrilly, stomping back and forth through the hallways and ravaging the garden. I watched him intently, though from a distance. Bestia was not merely a beast, but an out-of-control, bloodthirsty beast. Just a few days ago, we had been tending the garden together, but that was no longer possible. I was quite disappointed. Eventually, Bestia discovered my hiding place. I had not felt regret in a very long time, but I felt deep regret in that moment. More. Don't have enough, not enough, I need more, I need more. I must satisfy these urges. Are you saying peace was not enough to sate you? Did I mishear you when you asked for peace? I was mistaken. Asking for peace won't solve anything. Blood, despair, eyes filled with terror. Though these are the things I need. You and me both, Bestia. You and me both. And I've always known it. You said this mansion fulfills people's desires. Then... Please don't use the magic house to, like, murder people. Give me prey. No more hares. Live humans. Why did I ever teach him to speak human language? Before long, the mansion granted his wish. Yeah, mansion? Don't grant the wish. Like, instead of granting the wish, what if instead of doing that, you just didn't grant the wish? You see how much better that would be? I feel like that would be vastly better for, like, all parties involved. Once a week, a villager or a traveling merchant from somewhere would wander into the forest, ending up at the mansion on the cliff. Though something felt suspicious about a man who greeted them at the door, on the surface he looked like a proper nobleman, so they all eventually chose to trust Bestia. The mansion had an air of loneliness about it, but it was adequate to provide rest for their weary feet. There was food and a bed, and most comforting of all, there were other people. The lord of the house treated the lost souls like esteemed guests, poured them fine wine, and had me cook for them. No one suspected in the slightest that he was a beast. He put on a reasonably convincing act, because, yes, I had taught him to behave like a master. The visitors all went to bed contented. But, as I am sure you imagine, Master, they would never see the light of day again. The penetratingly bright sunlight particular to this area. A beast! It's a beast! You disgusting creature! You hideous monster! Kill him! If that's how you humans want to do things, then I'll play your little game. I'll play it even better than you. I'll kill you. I'll slaughter you! No, please don't! That's it. Cry for me. Beg for your life. Pray for my mercy. Weep and struggle and suffer and die. No one understands. No one can possibly understand my despair. Settle down there, edgelord. What did I ever do? Was it just because I'm a beast? When did I become a beast? Why do beasts have to die? Beasts are savage, and so they must die. I'm a beast, therefore I'm savage. In which case, I'll kill them. I'll show them what makes a beast so terrifying. Ha 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 ha. Moonlight crept through the torn velvet curtains, shining down upon the blood-soaked beast. It was a sight that would incite terror in anyone. A sight that would incite... Okay. Look at this. No one can stand up to me. Humans have no chance against beasts. Hey ha 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 hey ha ha ha. More. I need more. Give me more prey. The mansion continued to sate the beast's demented craving, sending not one but multiple villagers into his claws, into these blood-stained walls, off which echoed his monstrous howls. Well, if the mansion wasn't cursed before, definitely feels cursed now. Stop, please, I'm begging you, spare me. Oh god. Sorry, I'm not familiar with your god. Beasts have no need of gods. I have a wife and son back at the village. Please, let me return to them. Why don't you bring them to me? I'll send them to the same place you're going. Come on now, Bestia. I am with child. Please let me go. Are you now? In that case, I'll kill the baby first. Come on, Bestia. This is completely unnecessary. What if, instead of just murdering all these people, you just didn't murder them? Like, see how much better that would be. You damn monster. That's right. I'm a monster. In my killing, no one can defy me. I have to show the world that the beasts, are the most frightening things on this earth. The beast began to change his style, making sick banquets out of his kills. Some days, he would tie his guests up in the cellar, playing with them for hours until they finally died. Some days, he would drain them of their blood and bathe in it. Okay, that's fucked up, dude. Some days, he would spread them out on the table and feast upon them. Every week, another atrocious party. He did everything imaginable. Okay, so what is the maid doing during all this? Like, she's definitely, like, complacent with his crimes. My, distrust of the maid is, like, continuing to rise. She's just, like, watching this monster murder people by the bucket load. And she's like, yeah, this is okay. This is an alright state of existence. I see nothing wrong with this. As a faithful servant of this house, I am confident I can do most anything I am asked. Though you can surely imagine my surprise at having to use the cooking skills I learned while serving the flaxen-haired family to do that. I can only wonder if it actually tasted any good. Well, at least she didn't, like, eat people alongside the beast. Like, yay, that's some big relief there. Jesus. Bestia's particular sword was always with him for his twisted banquets of self-gratification. However much blood stained it, never lost its sheen. It was as though the sword drank the flesh of humans. Master, can you imagine just how wretched I felt? And yet you, like, enabled him. So, I'm not feeling that much sympathy for you right now, especially if you're, like, actually immortal and unkillable. Like, pretty sure you're supposed to kick him out of the house at that point. The mansion, once a beautiful sight to behold, reeked of death and acrimony. The stench of rotting flesh seeped up from the cellar. Even the years it had spent forsaken and in ruins were preferable to that. Or perhaps I only had myself to blame. It was I who had invited the beast into the mansion. More. Not enough. This isn't enough to satisfy me. The bestia still sought to hold more of his perverse parties. Lost villagers were no longer enough to quell his urges. He was indeed a genuine beast. And in time, this is what he began to wish for. Can't you get me any better prey? Something truly exquisite. The perfect prey to quench this maddening thirst of mine. Do you know what he meant when he asked for the perfect prey, Master? Perhaps a hero, someone courageous enough to stand up to him, with whom he can enjoy a battle to the death. Perhaps a dazzling young nymph to satisfy his other primal urges. Or perhaps what he wanted was not human at all, but a demon or a phantom. I would soon find out, as the mansion attempted to grant his wish, bringing yet another guest to the house on the cliff. If the devil guides us, if God guides us, then perhaps I could accept that that was fate. Then it makes sense that I am here. Is anyone there? I've lost my way. Would you please be so kind as to spare me a little food? Ah, there it is. There comes the poor little offering. They never learn. They just keep coming, again and again. This mansion keeps granting my wish. I would be glad to provide you some food, and you are welcome to stay the night, get some rest. I will have a room prepared. Hey, she's back! Hello, white-haired girl. Then, I suppose I shall take you up on your generosity. I've been wandering for a very, very long time. Like 100 years? What was that, Master? You recognize her? I imagine you would. That white hair, those red eyes, skin the color of freshly fallen snow. And that flawlessly beautiful visage, you could not possibly mistake her for anyone else. And no, it is not someone who happens to resemble her. I can understand why you'd be surprised, Master. At first, I could hardly believe my own eyes. The wanderer knocked on the door that day was the very same fair-skinned young woman who visited the mansion so many years earlier. The white-haired girl must have spent many, many a night in the forest. Her crystalline skin was covered in red scratches from where she had brushed against stray branches and tree bark. She'd even lost her shoes, and was standing there barefooted, looking quite disheartened. But that did not make her any less beautiful. In fact, you could imagine the dense forest canopy parting to allow the sun to shine down upon her. The beast appeared surprised by her angelic beauty as well. It seemed as though all madness drained from him in that moment. He said nothing, but his eyes told all. He was entranced by the sight of her ruby-red irises and her pure white hair. Pardon? I am a beast. This is what I asked for. Something to quench my thirst. You're allowed to be happy. But as I said, it was only for a moment. So rejoice! Imagine just how gratifying it will be to see such a beautiful woman writhing in the throes of death. Follow me. I will have a bath drawn as well. And once the moment had passed, the beast was barely able to contain the wellspring of madness within himself. He wanted nothing more than to run his sword through the white-haired girl this very instant, to torture her, to defile her. Alright, give me like 15 seconds. All this reading is like wearing out my throat. Gotta get something to drink. He tended to her wounds, served her supper, and drew a bath for her. And afterward, the beast even made to provide her with a dress to wear. Even the outfit she had only worn for one night so many years before was there, waiting for someone to put it on again, for her to put it on again. He said she could choose anything she liked. She, being such a modest young woman, said she needed not of any such fine attire, and what a shame it was. I too wished to see her in the dress once more. I need not such fine clothing. You needn't be modest. No, that's not why. Are they not to your liking, then? No, My apologies. You are very generous. Foolish girl, smiling and calling me generous. I was simply imagining what a pretty sight it would be. The sight of her fresh blood splattered on it. The sight of her very life slipping away in it. I am glad, after wandering for so long, I ended up here in this mansion. And in a few hours, you'll be feeling the exact opposite. Get all the rest you need. I shall see you again in the morning. I thank you. Bestia then made his way out of the girl's bedchamber. His mask came crumbling off after only taking a few steps. Ha! Ha ha! Hee 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 hee! There, that's precisely what I wanted. Ah, just imagining how such a beautiful woman will scream. How she'll beg for her life. Hey, are you there? The mansion has given me the perfect offering. Hey! Is she not here? Perhaps the maid has decided that she has had enough of this nonsense. Is someone there? Yes, I came by to ask if there was anything you needed. I cannot offer you anything extravagant, not like before, but I'm here to provide you with anything in my capacity. I appreciate the offer, but I need nothing. Being allowed to stay the night is more than enough. Also, they're like... She's just like casually not acknowledging the fact that the maid is like, yeah, by the way, I totally remember you were here like 100 years ago. They're just like not acknowledging it. Nice. Do you work here in the mansion? Yes, indeed I do. I've been here for a very, very long time. A very long time. You might think this is an odd question, but have we met before? Yes! That would be a yes. Something about you seems familiar. And I get the feeling I've been in this mansion before. Oh, she doesn't remember? God damn it. Yes, we have met. It was quite some time ago, though. When was it? It was an unimaginably long time ago. Do you remember a boy and a girl with flaxen hair? Flaxen hair. I apologize. My memory fails me. Do you not remember me either? I see. You should probably not push yourself to remember them. There were joyous times, and there were less than joyous times. But would you be so kind as to answer one question? What might your name be? Alright, $10 says we don't actually get to hear it. My name is... God fucking damn it. I hate it when I'm right. I hate it when I'm right. So, you are... Again. You should get some rest. I will make tea for you in the morning. Well, maybe we're the white-haired girl. That would be super funny. Also, I can't remember if the game has ever used pronouns to describe the protagonist. Like, they say master, so I assumed male, but I guess that's not gender specific. Also, the issue with games that originated in Japanese is Japanese has like a much different pronoun system than English does. Like, there are much fewer gendered pronouns. Go on, close your eyes. So in fact, maybe the narrative around the protagonist has actually been very intentionally avoiding pronouns. Alright, that would be funny. But the opening narrative implied that like somebody that we're like looking for someone, right? Who I assumed initially was the white-haired girl. It might actually be the maid though. That would be weird. Alright, I'll file that away as a possibility. So, and I've said it out loud now, so if that ends up being actually the truth, then I can say that I called it. But right now I'm thinking that that's one of the less likely possibilities. But Bestia never waited for morning to come. With his sword that smelled of blood hanging from his hip, the beast slowly, ever so slowly, crept towards the room where the white-haired girl slept. The time was soon approaching for the bloodthirsty beast to paint the walls with the young woman's blood, to turn her bedchamber into a gore-splattered altar upon which he would offer her to the devil. However, when he opened the door, the beast could hardly believe his eyes. She was not asleep, but sitting there as if expecting Bestia's arrival. "Why are you awake? Did you not go to sleep?" "I heard footsteps, so I..." "And what were you planning to do when I got here?" "I have a cup of tea." "Surely you didn't think we'd simply have a nice midnight chat?" "I mean, there's like 50-50. "I was hoping to ask what it was that you wanted." "To ask what I wanted? Do you not even realize what you're saying? Can you not see what's in my hand? You know exactly what I came here to do." "Aren't you going to beg? Aren't you going to plead for your life? Aren't you going to ask me not to kill you? If it's necessary. But is that what you want?" "What I want is something much more gratifying than your pleas. I want to hold a banquet. It's not enough. No matter what I do, it's not enough. But you will be enough to satisfy me, to quench this unholy thirst, to completely, wholly fill me to the bursting point." "Do you want to know what I desire?" "I desire to devour you." "Ah!" Bestia shoved the girl back, slamming her into the mattress. He then stabbed the sword through the sheets beside her, looking down upon the girl, the moonlight at his back. Clenching her slender throat with one hand, he drew his sword once more, holding the tip but inches from her nose. No matter how much blood it drank, the sword continued to shine gloriously, as though it had just come from the forge. It was an awe-inspiring, tear-shedding blade, the sight of which would cause anyone to imagine the misfortune about to befall them. "Go on, mock me. Ridicule the hideous, barbaric beast standing before you. From the moment you saw me, you thought me unsettling, no? But you averted your eyes, because I had food for you, because I gave you a place to rest. You pretended not to notice the beast. This is retribution. Retribution for you damned humans. So beg for your life like they all do. Cry. Plead for mercy. If you say that you are ugly, then I must be equally ugly." "What?" What came from the girl's mouth was neither a plea, nor an insult, nor a scream. Full-grown men had wept before him, and yet the slight young woman did not. Despite this terrifying beast being upon her, moments away from extinguishing her life. Even I almost shrieked in fright. Bestia could neither believe his eyes nor his ears. Do you not fear me? Can you not see what I'm about to do to you? What am I to be afraid of? I'm threatening to murder you. Trip your intestines out with these claws and watch you die in agony. I enjoy it more than anything in the world, filling others' hearts with fear. The more lives I take, the more I enjoy it. I'm a beast, driven by madness." What he expected was for the beautiful girl before him to desperately implore him for mercy. He wanted nothing more than to see despair seep into every corner of her red eyes. For he believed that it would be a truly sublime moment, euphoria unlike anything he had experienced before. Bestia prodded her with his singular sword, poking a slit in skin smoother than silk. "You mean to take mercy on me because you see me as pitiful?" But she did not do as the beast wished. She looked up at him with sympathy rather than fear. This rattled the beast. He had never once seen anyone respond to him in that way. What possessed you to say that? What on earth is going through your head? Mercy. Mercy! Do you not comprehend the situation? How can you be so calm? Scream, cry, and shout. Beg for me to spare you. Throw yourself at my feet. Throw yourself at my feet! Otherwise I'm a beast. A beast that never tires of killing. To me, you appear to be a person. You're lying. You listen to the things I say, and you respond with your own words. I was taught how to speak. I'm a beast who speaks human language. But you think. You used your mind to come up with responses. Ah, the beast has successfully passed the Turing test. And you hesitate. If I'm Humian, then why do they disparage me so? Why do they reject me and try to kill me? Because I'm a beast. A repulsive beast. That's why, isn't it? I will do nothing to hurt you. We are alike. Alike? Don't be ridiculous. How can you say we're alike when you're as beautiful as you are? There's nothing beautiful about me. What value does outward appearance have? You have suffered much persecution, which is why you tremble in fear. I am not trembling. I am not afraid. I can hear the cries of your heart. What on earth is wrong with you? Why are you not afraid? Why do you not scream in terror? I am afraid, but more than fear, I feel like I know now what my role is. Your role? If you will have me, then I would like to remain here in the mansion. Are you mad? I'll eventually kill you. Make you, torture you, put you through hell, make you wish you were never born. That does not change my mind. Please, allow me to stay. I find it very hard to believe that what you want deep down is to hurt people. And I get the feeling that I am meant to be here. That is my role. Bestia was at a loss. He was, perhaps, afraid of this girl who did not fear him, and even attempted to embrace him. She behaved too differently from all the other humans he knew of, who had only ever harassed and pushed him away. Why are you so kind to me? To this beast, this murderer? Bestia's sword slipped from his hand, hitting the hard floor with a metallic whine. When the sound died down, the white-haired girl extended her hands for the beast with the utmost of affability. Her fingers were white as freshly fallen snow, something Zarya never saw. They traced his distinctive frame. They ran along his unusually shaped nose. They slid along his rough yellowed skin. They drifted around his rather small eyes. The beast trembled once more, this time not out of twisted desire from deep within, but from the unimaginable comfort of physical contact. Her fingers moved so gently, so pleasantly, wrapping him in their warmth. Are you crying? A single teardrip slid down the arc of her finger. Looking into her clear eyes, Bestia came to a realization. And at the same time, he felt somewhat dismayed. You are without sight. Oh, interesting. Oh! Huh. Huh. I wonder if she was blind in the first door, too. Are there, like, any scenes that in retrospect make a bunch of sense if I assume that? I don't think there's anything. In fact, she probably wasn't blind during the first door, because I think she commented on the painting at one point, which obviously doesn't make sense if you can't see. And, like, maybe she's not, like, blind, she just, like, has, like, super blurry vision. Like, maybe she's blind the same way I'm blind, which is I need, like, ridiculously strong glasses or everything looks super blurry. I don't know. Perhaps I should click forward a few lines and find out. Taking the throes of his primal urges, the beast had not noticed, but there was an emptiness in the girl's eyes. She appeared to be gazing far into the distance, not focused on the man despite being close enough to touch him. Tears had begun running down Bestia's cheeks earlier, when she had called him a person. But it was not until one of those droplets had slid across the back of her finger that she had realized. She would, indeed, have no need of extravagant dresses. After all, she could not see what she was wearing. That is correct. I am blind. But whoever decided that reality is only that which can be seen? I know not what appearance I have. In the darkness, everything is as one. There is no difference between beast and man. If you are a beast, then I must too be a beast. To call the girl a beast would be paramount to eating sugar and insisting that it was salt. Do pardon the trite analogy, please. But you know rather well, master, that the white-haired girl was not at all what you would call a beast. Not simply in appearance, but all the way down to her core. There was nothing beastly about her. Her words brought him faint pain, but the beast still felt, on some level, that he wanted to keep her at his side, to see what would happen. His next eyes were in large part impulsive. I am grateful that you cannot see. Without exception, everyone who had wandered into the mansion had lost their lives before the sun rose the next morning. She was the first visitor who had not met this fate. Over time, Bestia's madness gradually subsided. He even began to seem rather tame. You would hardly believe it was the same beast who had once reveled in these perverse festivities. He was, I imagine, at a loss for how to behave. I too would be flustered in the constant presence of such beauty. But it was not just her appearance. She had said she had wished to live with him, a beast who had committed countless atrocities. Perplexing indeed. What is the matter? Do you honestly not fear me? Do I appear to be afraid of you? No, you do not. But you would. If you could see me, you would react the same as everyone else. You would mock me. You would despise me. You would want to kill me. You don't know what I've done because you can't see. I enjoyed it. I basked in their terror. So why Why do I not want you to find out? I don't want you to know how many people I've tortured, how many I've slaughtered, how much blood I've imbibed. All these horrible things I've done. Horrible. I'm aware that what I've done is wrong, but I relished in it. I wanted, for so long, to slaughter them. I desperately desired to see blood, human blood. What is it I crave? Murder? Or laughter? I said that I had no need for peace, yet here I am. Man, if I had been the one translating this game, I would have had a very hard time resisting the urge to translate this line as or slaughter or laughter. I might have problems. I blame my father. I think I've inherited his sense of humor. Is something the matter? No, some tea. Oh, shall I make some? Are you thirsty? No, I made some tea. It's probably cold by now. I thought you might want some. You don't? No, I'll take it. Eh. What are you laughing for? Because I'm happy. Is it to your liking? It's bitter. Their life together began quietly, their days without event. Yeah, but last time you said that then he murdered some, wandering traveler, 3 days later. So, you say that, and I'm not going to trust you even a little bit. They had no extravagant meals. There were no swaths of guests lending life to the mansion's halls. There was also no one screaming in fear for their life. Also, the fact that they, flashed over to Pauline, and then she's obviously relevant enough to give her a Sprite, means that, she's probably going to come, looking for revenge, and shit's going to go south again. That's my guess. It was the peaceful life Bestia had lost, and he returned once more to that quiet realm. What's the matter? You're always so quick to notice my presence. My world is one of darkness, so I have a heightened sense of hearing. What is it like? How do you perceive the world? I cannot imagine living in complete darkness. Occasionally, I can see light. Light? Yes, not a radiant light, like the sun, but a soft light, floating in the darkness. Like a candlelight, I suppose. That only perplexes me all the more. I find it difficult to understand what you are describing. Is that so? It's difficult for me as well. I'm not sure how to explain it. But it's not complete darkness. I can sense your presence, for instance, and I can tell how windy it is from the way the windows vibrate. And also... Also? I can feel as though I can sense the wavering of emotions. Oh, sweet superpowers. The candlelight begins to flicker erratically. From fear, intense sorrow, or other similar emotions. My emotions? I do not know. It could be yours, and it could be mine. I can't remember. I think somebody earlier in the story did the same thing where they, were detecting people's emotions. I can't remember if it was a white-haired girl or maid. I would have to go check. This mansion is a very peculiar place. The candlelight is always wavering, and yet it seems somehow stable. It makes me feel as though this is where I belong. I don't think I understand. I'm a beast, and so I lack the intelligence. But you... I'm going to go hunting. Is there anything you would like? Whatever you like. Well, no, don't say that, then you might go get people. Say hares or something. Hares are probably delicious. I've never had hare. I should probably try it at some point. Alright then, if you find any fruit, that would be nice. Fruit. Aha! It's sour. You picked it before it was ripe. I didn't know. Is that a bad thing? I don't know anything. I cannot see, but if fruit is still green, you are not supposed to eat it yet. What color are these? Green. No, blue. Shall I give you a hand preparing supper? I cannot ask for help of someone who can't see. You'll hurt yourself. Don't worry, I can tell for the most part where things are by touch and sound. Are you worried? Worried. 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 Thought of blood dripping down her finger. Doesn't excite me. What's going on? What on earth has happened to me? If I appear to be in any danger of harming myself, please let me know. Then you have nothing to worry about. You do not seem any more comfortable in the kitchen than me. She always cooks the... Where did she go? Huh? She always comes when I call. Oh, maid is shirking. I'd hidden myself away. Bestia had learned how to go about his daily life without my assistance, and the two of them had no need for others in their peaceful world. Oh my, what is the master? Hehe. I was not lonely at all, no. It was an absolute pleasure simply watching them. I mean that. It was not my role to be at his side, nor was I the one to be at hers. If she could make Bestia into the master of the house, then my presence was unnecessary. I appear when I am needed, as I appeared to serve the flaxen-haired family, nothing more. If they sought a servant, then I would show myself. Yes, certainly. After some time, they began to sleep in the same bed. Oh dear, no. Not for the reason you are imagining, Master. You thought no such thing? Okay, I'll admit, I may have had my train of thought move in that direction a little bit. Not gonna admit to anything, but they slept in the same bed. They did not lay together. They did so, it seemed, because they were more comfortable in the same place. The two acted more like family than lovers. Hey, hello? Are you asleep? No, I am awake. Is the candlelight wavering? Right now, it is very calm. I see. Say, tell me about your childhood. What, me? Won't you? My childhood? Yes. I have no such stories to tell. When I was a child, I lost everything. My mother, father, brothers, everyone. So for as long as I can remember, I did not have a father. Man! She totally forgot, like, the entire first door. I was hoping that, like, there was some other reason why she didn't recognize the maid. But no, it would appear that she has at least partial amnesia. Because the father died, like, right before the events of the first door, so. I lived alone with my mother, but I've never felt like it was a bad thing. Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. Was she kind? Yes, very. She was a compassionate woman. But we were poor, and because I cannot see, my mother was the only one who could work. She would be away for long stretches of time, supposedly because she served at a respectable house. I wonder if white-haired girl is, like, 100 years old, or if it's a reincarnation. 50-50. I do not know whether or not that was true. Perhaps she was doing much more demanding work. I never asked. I believe not asking was best for her. From time to time, I would receive letters from her. Someone who lived nearby read them to me. The letters went something like this. Life in the mansion is difficult, but everyone treats me so well, and they say I do good work. I'll be back with more money soon, so you be a good girl. Other than that, she allegedly expressed concern for my health and safety, as well as repeatedly saying how much she loved me. You have a good mother. I did. Nearly everything I remember my mother saying to me was written in her letters. So much kindness and warmth. Why do you not live with her now? How did you end up here in the mansion? Sorry, I need to grab another drink real quick. Before long, she lost her life at her place of employment, and I was sent the money she had earned. It was, I imagine, enough to survive on. When my mother was alive, she often lamented my blindness. If only she could see, she would say, I could show you just how extraordinary this world is. So I decided I would visit a renowned physician in order to fulfill my mother's dream. A physician in this country. However, upon examining me, he said that he could not restore my sight. Dejected, I was on my way home when bandits attacked. They robbed me of the money I was brought to pay for my treatment. I lost everything my mother saved for me, the money she gave her life to earn for me. I failed to repay her for anything she did, which cast a dark cloud over my heart. My world has always been wrapped in darkness, but at that moment, I was in the deepest abyss. There was not even a speck of light. I was at a complete loss. With nowhere to go, I simply wandered, no destination in mind. And that was when I miraculously arrived at this mansion. It was as if it had summoned me here. You were being summoned by the mansion to fulfill my craving, but it didn't end up that way. I wonder if the mansion is disappointed. I see. Perhaps it was fulfilling his craving for companionship. I apologize for not having a brighter tale to tell. I imagine you were hoping to hear joyful childhood memories. No, did they hurt you? Pardon? The bandits. When they attacked, were you hurt? You are so compassionate. I am no such thing. I am not compassionate. I was perfectly fine. I took a few scratches, but nothing you would need to worry about. I see. I believe that I am happy now. I was unable to regain my sight, and I haven't the money to return home, but I believe I left in order to come here. Is your life right now happy? I am terrified. I'm volatile. I'm growing accustomed to this woman's comfort. I'm afraid of losing her. A beast should not have these feelings. A murderous beast. Take this. What is... It makes a good gift, supposedly. I was planning to throw it out when I learned that, but I couldn't. I felt like I was meant to give it to someone. That could only be you. It is a fake white rose. A white rose accessory. Do you not want it? No, I do. I just, for some reason... Never mind. Thank you, I appreciate it. We're gonna get door 1 memories back? Is this gonna be like... Is this gonna trigger it? Come on, dealer 1 time. I say that a lot. I should probably just like start saying dealer every time, because realistically, I ask for it every time. Do you not desire more prey? But you were so hungry for blood before. I've had enough. I don't need any more. Although she is blind, no, because she cannot see, she does not push me away. She's the only one willing to accept me, to be with me. So hard to please. You obtain peace, cast it aside, and then pick it up once more. But you'll never be able to escape it completely. After all, you are enchanted by the pleasure murder brings. You have been for a very, very long time. This time I'm done. I won't kill anyone anymore. Being with her is far more satisfying than the joy killing brought me. Be with her is what I truly want. So very self-centered. You certainly are. Hey. It was as though he was viewing a flashback. The sound of knocking echoed through the mansion, as it had the day the merchant came and brought the beast's short-lived peace crashing down. What did I just tell you? I do not want any more prey. Stop this! Stop it! Don't bring me any more. I thought you were supposed to fulfill my desires. Why did the door open? So wait, is the mansion, like, sentient? Like sentient? Like, capable of, like, speech? Huh. So that's definitely what I was getting from that conversation there. Sword in hand, Bestia ran through the mansion's halls. He was overcome with fear. He'd obtained the peace he so dearly wanted, and even found someone who did not fear him. He was terrified that the appearance of more prey would cause the Saul to crumble. If he spotted the prey, murdered them, and conceded to his madness, she might choose to leave him. As much as she claimed he was not hideous, if she witnessed him doing that. I'll just chase them out. I'm done with this. My desire has changed. However... Why? Bestia shuddered in terror at the sight. Hey! It's another one! Stay back. Stay away from me. He broke into a run. It was not, after all, helpless prey that had entered the mansion. That thing is... The monster's voice seemed to slither along the floors behind him. He felt as though, if he were to turn around, it would be right there on top of him. Why are you chasing me? Bestia shouted with fear in his voice, uncharacteristic of the beast who had so readily slaughtered his prey. But can you blame him? That's a Bestia! In that moment, I had an epiphany. I assumed he'd called himself Bestia, unaware of what the word meant. A Bestia other than me. Bestia is not, in fact, a name. It is a word that means beast. Indeed, a second beast had come to the mansion. Why are you chasing me? Are you here to kill me? Is it because I settled down? Because I wanted to stop being a beast? Ah! Is something the matter? When the white-haired girl poked her head out of her bedchamber, Bestia was aghast. He frantically attempted to return her to her room. You mustn't leave your room. But as he was doing this, the horrifying creature, no, the beast's voice drew nearer. Do not open this door for any reason. I will protect you. That's right. I don't want this peace destroyed. These tranquil days together with this woman, I will protect them. I will. Trembling in fear, Bestia gathered his resolve. He pointed his sword, until which then had only been used to torment others, at the second beast. Now, he would wield his blade to protect the person he cared about. This was the same beast who had killed and killed and killed to satisfy his own primal desires. I will not let you destroy this. I will protect it from you. From the rational point of view, the things he were saying and feeling were rather idealistic, but Bestia was desperate. He did not want to lose this peace. Before long, the beast, the one chasing him, appeared from within the darkness. Say, Master, if resolve was the only thing necessary for one to act courageously, would that not mean that nearly anyone could become a hero? Bestia had viciously slaughtered so many people before. He had gathered the courage to protect the things he cared for, but now he was shaking. He did not gallantly bring his sword down upon the approaching beast. Instead, he trembled visibly from head to toe. He must have been quite terrified at the beast's appearance. Stop! No! Stay away from me! Don't! Stay back! Ah, how the tables have turned. This is pretty ironic. Like, I get that that's the point, but still. Seeing Bestia so scared, I imagine the beast thought it a prime opportunity, for it slowly, ever so slowly, ambled toward him. Ah! 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 If I don't kill it, it will kill me. I have to kill it, 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 I have to kill it. And that was the moment Bestia's mind ran off the rails of sanity. Kill, 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 kill! He lifted his sword up above his head, facing the approaching beast. Greg! Ah! Ah! And ferociously, ah! Swung it down upon his assailant. Ah! Again and again and again. Screaming horrifically at the top of his lungs. He continued swing upon swing until the other beast had gone completely still. Ah! Ah! For long, copious volumes of fresh blood stained the corridor. At some point, the other beast had stopped moving and sunken into a pool of its own lifeblood. I did it. I did it. I killed it. I killed the other bestia. Bestia had let his guard down, assuming he had claimed victory over the unmoving beast. I had not imagined either that the beast could still be alive after shedding so much blood. Stay back! The beast reached its hand out towards Bestia. It was determined to drag him down to the underworld, it seemed. Slowly sliding along the slippery floor, it dragged itself toward him. Even on its last breaths, it continued reaching for Bestia, fixated on him. He kicked the beast's hand up into the air, staggering it, and then he... Burn in hell! Rammed his blade down into it. Bestia's fear-stricken expression was hardly that of a knight who had just saved the maiden. Nevertheless, he had indeed eradicated the other beast. Huh, not sure how to feel about that one. Like, 50-50 that that wasn't actually a beast, he was just going crazy and that was a normal person. But I guess the maid is there to provide, like, a more objective perspective? I don't know. Well, with any case, I think that's where I'm going to call it for the night. It's a little bit earlier than my other videos, but it's late, and I have stuff to do. So I will see you all next time. Thank you all for watching, and come back next time when I will probably try and finish Door 2. Like I said, if it's similar length to this one, next video is probably going to end up being longer so that I can finish it. Peace.